الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أرسله بالحق بشيرا ونذيرا بين يدي الساعة من يطع الله ورسوله فقد رشد ومن يعصهما فلا يضر إلا لنفسه ولا يضر الله شيئا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما يا أيها الذين آمنوا ادخلوا في السلم كافة ولا تتبعوا خطوات الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين. The ultimate declaration of Tawheed, or the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and monotheism, is the belief that inna hudallahi huwal huda. That the guidance is the guidance that comes only from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No one has the authority, has the capacity, or has the power to guide humanity to the right path except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself told us that the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would not come as a result of the imagination of people, but it would come in concrete and clear format through the messengers whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will choose. Wallahu yakhtassu bi rahmatihi man yasha. He chooses whomsoever he wants based upon his mercy. And he told us, وَإِمَّا يَأْتِيَنَّكَ مِنِّي هُدًى فَمَنْ تَبِعَ هُدَايَا فَلَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ. That whenever you will follow the guidance that comes to you, whenever, means it's a process. Today, we might be at the 25% of our understanding of the divine guidance. Tomorrow we might be at the 30%. It's a continuous process. It is not something that is totally complete and one believes that, well, today I found these answers to these problems. All the issues have been resolved. I have now had perfect monotheism. No, it's a process that would continue. وَإِمَّا يَأْتِيَنَّكَ مِنِّي. Whenever you would have that kind of understanding of the divine guidance, فَلَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ. You will have nothing to worry and nothing to fear. And this message is not just for Muslims. This is a message that for all humanity. Because the one who gave us this message describes himself as Rabbul Alameen, not Rabbul Muslimin. Through the one whom he sent this message is described as Rahmatul lil Alameen, not Rahmatul lil Muslimin. And the book that has that message is called Zikrul lil Alameen, not Zikrul lil Muslimin. So, this message is for humanity. And to the Prophet ﷺ goes the credit that he lived this message. He relayed that message. He ensured that each and every word of that message is preserved. And he implemented this message in 23-year period of his lifetime. And that's why he's described as Rahmatul lil Alameen. He told us that the life is not here permanent. We will leave this place one day, regardless of our age and health. And then a day will come when each one of us will be raised and will be asked to read whatever we have written in the book that was given empty to us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then our destination will be determined on the basis of what we have done and what we have said in this world. اقرأ كتابك كفى بنفسك اليوم عليك حسيبا. And he assured us on the authority of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Inna lil muttaqina mafaza, that if you have consciousness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you have responsibility, if you have clear understanding of what the divine guidance is, you will have nothing to worry. You will indeed be successful in this life and the life hereafter. Some 750 years ago, a very unusual thing happened in our world. An army that claimed itself to be the finest army, most barbaric that humanity has ever seen, started marching from Mongolia and started capturing Muslim lands after lands. The major centers of Islamic civilization and Islamic culture and Islamic education were destroyed in a period of 9 months. Kabul, Balkh, Bukhara. That were the places where the knowledge of that particular time was flourishing. And that were the places where people from all over the world would come to learn about Islam and about Deen and about everything else, were totally destroyed. And the armies were so powerful that they attacked Baghdad and captured it. And the history tells us that for almost 3 days, the smokes from the burning of the library were clouding the entire environment of that particular city. The waters of the 2 rivers in Iraq had become black as a result of the ashes of what was happening. They say approximately 8 million Muslims were killed and slaughtered in those attacks that were organized by Mongols. And the situation was so intense that the people were afraid of praying. People were afraid of identifying themselves as Muslims. And it appeared that the Mongols would now march towards Mecca and towards Medina and would destroy it. But then something unusual happened. Something terrible happened. The crown prince of the empire was fond of hunting. His name was Tolok Khan. And he went on a hunting expedition. And while he was out in the forests, his soldiers captured a family that they saw praying. A family of 8 or 9 boys, girls, men, women who were running away from the power of barbarism, originally from Iran, settled in Afghanistan, then moved from there, running from place to place, saving the dignity of that family. And the head of the family was produced before Tughlaq Khan, intoxicated with power, intoxicated with his majesty. Tughlaq Khan asked the head of the family, who was a frail-looking man, whose name history would not even have remembered if he had not done what he did. And he asked him a very simple question. Are you better, or my dog is better than you? Are you better, or my dog is better than you? That man, whose name history tells us was Najmuddin, said that he would not be able to answer this question. Someone else would answer that question for him. And the Tughlaq Khan laughed. He thought that he is trying to escape. He's trying to save his life. And he let him and his family go. 8 years passed. And Tughlaq Khan became the emperor of the Mongol Empire. In the meantime, the family moved and settled somewhere else. And one day, a young man approached the courtiers of the Tughlaq Khan and asked the permission to see him. And the courtiers refused. So next day, at the time of Fajr, when the emperor was sleeping, the call of azan was made, which was unusual in Baghdad, and a call that was heard after 8 years or 10 years. And Tughlaq Khan awoke. And in his anger, he asked the people to capture the person who was making that kind of call and bring him to the court. So the next day, in the morning, a young man was presented to the court of Tughlaq Khan, and he was charged for disturbing the peace of the king. Before the king could ask, this young man said, "You had asked a question from my father 8 years ago whether he was better or your dog was better. I've come to answer that question." Tughlaq Khan remembered that. He said, "What is the answer?" He said, "My father was better than your dog." Tughlaq Khan said, why didn't he say at that particular time that he was better than his dog, my dog? And the response was the one that shook the foundation of that empire and changed the entire course of history. He said at that particular moment, when you were asking him, he did not know whether he would die on Iman or he would die on Kufr. If he had died on Kufr, if he had died on no Iman, your dog would have been better than him. And if he died on Iman, then he certainly is better than. And then Tughlaq Khan asked, what is Iman? And Rashiduddin, the son of that Najmuddin, explained what the Iman was. And within a short span of time, the entire Mongol Empire turned to Islam and became Muslims. وَلَا تَحِنُوا وَلَا تَحْزَنُوا أَنْتُمُ الْأَعْلَوْنَ إِن كُنتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ. There's no need to despair. There's no need to feel dejected. in any kind of situation, if you have faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you have faith in your ability to follow the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, things will change and things will become better. No matter what. وَلَا تَهِنُوا وَلَا تَحْزَنُوا أَنْتُمُ الْأَعْلَوْنَ إِن كُنتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ. Then the Quran says, وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ وَنَقْصٍ مِّنَ الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَنفُسِ وَالثَّمَرَاتِ وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ الَّذِينَ إِذَا أَصَابَتْهُم مُّصِيبَةٌ قَالُوا إِنَّا لِلَّهِ وَإِنَّا إِلَيْهِ رَاجِعُونَ. We will face situations that would hurt us as individuals, that would hurt us as family, that would put our lives in dangers, that would destroy our wealth and resources, that would challenge and question our dignity, that would challenges everything that we have. But those who steadfast and who believe that things are happening because of the laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because of the things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created, and as long as we would continue to follow the laws and the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we will overcome the difficulties and we will overcome these kind of stresses one day and we will be victorious. وَلَا تَهِنُوا وَلَا تَحْزَنُوا أَنْتُمُ الْأَعْلَوْنَ إِن كُنتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ. So why should Muslims be worried about any kind of debacles, about any kind of setbacks that take place in different parts of the world or even in our world? When the guidance is very clear, أَنْتُمُ الْأَعْلَوْنَ إِن كُنتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ, that you indeed will overcome the difficulties if you have faith in yourself and if you have faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And why should Muslims in this country specifically, yes, in this country specifically, fear anything? Because this is one of those few countries in the entire world where Muslims, through their dedication and struggles and determinations, have proven that no matter what, how difficult are the circumstances, Islam and Muslims would survive. It was in this country that the worst kind of suppression of Islam and Muslims took place for 400 years. It was in this country that the Muslims from Africa and other places of the world were brought as slaves, deprived of their dignity, deprived of their culture, deprived of their faith, deprived of their understanding of anything, forced to become Christians, forced to become non-Muslims, forced to leave their traditions and their faith behind. And yet Islam survived. There were no institutions the way we have today, the mosques. There was no scholarship at that time the way we have today. There were no scholars the way we have it today. People were persecuted, killed for believing in the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So much brutality was shown to them that if things were recorded, perhaps it would have been impossible for a human being to endure, to understand the nature of the kind of oppression that took place. Yet Islam survived. And today, the descendants of those who were brought here as slaves make up more than 35% of the Muslim population. This country proves beyond any doubt that if a people are determined to live their Islam and their faith, no amount of debacle, no amount of setbacks, no amount of any kind of unwelcoming situation would impact the Muslim community or Islam. So if anyone thinks that what happened in this country in the last few months would have serious repercussion for Islam, would have the issue pertaining to the survival of Muslims, should look at the history and should learn from the determination and learn from the history of the African American Muslim community here that has proven that it is possible to survive in the worst kind of conditions and worst kind of situations. Yes, the coming days would be tough for Muslims, especially our sisters who are carrying the identity of the faith through their hijabs and through their scarves. Yes, they would be, and they might be attacked. And they might be taunted. They might be identified. They might be pointed fingers at. And those who practice their faith and who stand for their faith might also be ridiculed. But these are the moments to show determination, and these are the moments to show unity, and these are the moments to show cohesion within the community. This is not the time to put down each other on the basis of our differences. This is not the time to question the authenticity of the fellow Muslims on the basis of the ideas that they have developed. This is not the time to divide ourselves on the basis of this or that kind of maslak. This is the time to close our ranks and to practice our religion and our faith in a manner that would enable our community to stand tall in the wake of the challenges and in the wake of the troubles and in the wake of the kind of difficulties that we would face. And we must also realize that in this country there are hundreds and thousands of people who have the capacity to understand the truth and to understand the situation. While in the last 48 hours, people have reported at least 300% rise in anti-Muslim actions all over the country, something unusual is also taking place that we should also be aware. A former US Marine wrote a letter to Masjid Ibrahim. And he said that I know the difficulties that your community is facing. I am willing to devote 2 hours every day to stand outside the masjid to defend the believers to come and pray. There's another person who said that he would show his commitment to humanity by accepting Islam to prove to those who are hate mongers that they would not succeed. And probably that person might come in the mosque next week. There are people who want to organize programs and who want to organize events showing their solidarity and their commitment to the Muslim community at this moment of ours. This is an opportunity for us, for Muslims, to show our commitment to our own community, to our own interests, because if we would not stand for our own interest, no one would stand. Inna Allah la yughayyiru ma biqawmin hatta yughayyiru ma bi anfusihim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not change the condition of a people unless they are willing to change their own conditions and their own selves. So there are a few things that we all can do. Every one of us. It doesn't matter what mosques you go and what mosque you want to identify with. But please and please get identified and get related and linked with a masjid. Let the people in the masjid know that you are part of that community. Ensure that you come to the Friday prayers in large numbers and bring many more in those Friday prayers. Make sure that at least you would offer one prayer in the masjid every day. It would be tough. It would be hard. But at least a statement would be made that the Muslims care for their faith and they care for their community and they care for their institutions. Make sure that through these mosques and those institutions, we involve and invite those who are looking for the truth to understand what we believe in and what we stand for. That we should remain open, and then we should work closely with those who have been entrusted with the responsibility of maintaining law and order in this community and in this country, and hold them accountable for any lapse of security to any community in this country. That is what our responsibility is. It's an opportunity for us in all these kind of things that are happening. And the days that are coming would be quite challenging for all of us. And it is only through unity and closing the ranks among ourselves we would be able to overcome the difficulties that may or may not come in our way in the near future. So, get involved with your masajid. Get involved with your religious institutions. Get involved with your local communities. Participate in whatever way, form, or shape you want to make sure that together we make the differences on the basis of our faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, on the basis of our faith in ourselves, and on the basis of our commitment to the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And together we will overcome and live the words of the Quran, وَلَا تَحِنُوا وَلَا تَحْزَنُوا أَنْتُمُ الْأَعْلَوْنَ إِن كُنْتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ. Do not have despair. Do not be saddened. Indeed, you would overcome all the difficulties and all the challenges if you have faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and if you have faith in the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let us pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He enables us to live the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the best possible manner. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. رب اغفر وارحم وأنت خير الراحمين. أقم الصلاة إن الصلاة تنهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون ولذكر الله تعالى أعلى وأولى وأهم وأتم وأكبر.
الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد